Alright, welcome to another Hickory hack. Today we're replacing the grip on a hickory-shafted golf club. I'm going to show you how I cut new grips and my method for wrapping those grips on the club. If you're new to hickory golf, you might just want to buy pre-cut grips. But if you're into DIY, I'll show you how I cut my own grips. I like to buy a side of deertan cowhide, 3 to 4 ounce thickness from Tandy leather, and I'll use a rotary cutter and a stiff straight edge ruler to cut grips about 35 inches in length. In order for the grip to wrap nice around the shaft, you'll want to have a taper. So I cut the width at the butt end of the grip to 1 1/4 inch, and then at the other end of the grip I'll cut it to 1 inch width. Using the straight edge and the rotary cutter, you want to make this cut as straight as possible. I'll show you why that's important when we start wrapping it. I'll get about 40 to 45 grips out of the side of leather, so you can see how this would be pretty cost effective. So this is the George Nickel precision flange niblick that I used for the pin replacement and replacement shaft videos. What I'm doing here is checking the swing weight without a grip. When you add weight to the grip end of the club, you lower its swing weight. So understanding that 4 grams of weight at the butt end equal 1 swing weight point loss, this will give me an idea or an estimation as to where the club will end up when the grip is on. Without a grip, this club is D4 on the scale. So knowing I'm going to lose a few points, I'm hoping I can keep it around D1 or D0 once the grip is on. It helps to know how much weight you're adding before you do it, so I weighed the grip and it's 24 grams. We'll see where that ends up on the swing weight scale. Now we're ready to wrap on the new grip. Before we add the leather, we want to put what's called an underlisting underneath the grip. Now what I like to use for that is hockey tape or friction tape. This is what you can use to build up the thickness of your grip, but in this case all I'm trying to do is add something to keep the leather from slipping on the grip. I'm just going to add 1 wrap of this on the entire shaft and then just a little bit more toward the butt end, understanding that this can affect swing weight as well, so you want to bear that in mind whenever you're building up a grip with underlisting. So now we're ready to add the leather. The first step is making an angled cut at the butt end of the grip on the reverse side you want to use as the grip. So I want this to be swayed side out, so I'm on the pebble grain side of the grip making this cut. And you'll soon see how this angled cut will allow the taper you've built into the grip, allow the grip to wrap around the shaft nicely. So I'm going to be using very small tacks to tack this into the shaft. I get these from Hickory Golf Workshop. They're actually hard to find elsewhere. Standard furniture tacks are too large and risk splitting the wood, so you want to use these small ones. And I'm also pointing out here that I've tacked this to the back end of the shaft, so all of this work is, relatively going to be invisible to you when you're playing with the club. Now I'm beginning to wrap the leather around the grip, and you're seeing how that angled cut that I made is allowing me to wrap this seam to seam basically. You're not going to get it perfect, but the straighter you've cut the grip, the easier this is going to be and the cleaner it'll look. You'll see here in a couple spots where you can see the underlisting beneath. I'll just kind of stretch and pull that however I need to cover up those gaps and try to keep as few ribs as possible in between wraps. Now I'm making a cut perpendicular to the shaft to create another angled cut like the one at the butt end of the grip so that we can tack the end of the grip to the shaft. And again, if you've done this right, this tack will be on the back end of the shaft as well, though this one's just a little bit off. It's good enough for me. So before I do anything with whipping, I want to check the swing weight in case I need to change this grip altogether. Here we see D4, which is where we started before the grip. We know it's heavier than that. So I inch my way down the scale, and fortunately I settle out at D1, which is right in the wheelhouse. So the last thing I'll do here is add a piece of masking tape with the loft and the swing weight, and now this club is ready to be whipped. Thanks for watching, and please remember to like and subscribe.